Lord.
Praise the Lord, yes.
Praise the Lord, sun and moon and shining stars. Praise the Lord, you highest heavens.
Let all things God has created praise the name of the Lord.
Kings of the earth and all peoples, princes and rulers of the earth.
Young men and women alike, old and young together.
Let them praise the name of the Lord, for the Lord's name alone is exalted.
Praise the Lord.
Trusting in God's gracious gift, let us confess our sins as together we say,
God, have grace and truth in Jesus Christ, who came among us as light shining in darkness. We confess that we have not welcomed the light or trusted good news to be good. We have closed our eyes to glory in our midst, expecting little and hoping for less. For we are out and renew our hope, so that we may receive the fullness of your grace and live in the truth of Christ the Lord.
Amen. Love was born at Christmas. Star and angel gave the sign.
Love is yours, love is ours, a gift to all from God divine.
Friends, believe the good news. God so loved the world, God gave his only Son.
That whoever believes in him shall have eternal life. Hallelujah. Amen.
forgiveness in Christ and reason to celebrate. So I invite anyone with a celebration to share the anniversary. Come forward. Good morning. Birthday. What's that? Congratulations. You got more. Five. There's 10. There's 15. And 20. I'm sure this isn't for you. 30. 35. 40. 47.
Christmas Day.
Christmas Day, congratulations. 25. 35. 35. I can't see. 36. Congratulations, everybody. Let's sing. Sorry. Come free. Kids, come forward, please. Show you come forward. Good morning. How was your Christmas? Awesome. Okay, good. So what did your parents give you for Christmas? An iPod? Oh, wow. PSP. Wii U? Nothing? Okay. Did any of you join your parents or family to more last-minute Christmas shopping? Anyone? No. Okay, so we're all early shoppers. Good. Okay, I'm going to tell you a story about a family that went more into last-minute Christmas shopping. And suddenly, in the midst of all the excitement, and someone noticed that the little 3-year-old boy called Matthew, who was with their parents and the rest of the family, was gone. So terror immediately gripped the parents. They had heard about stories that little kids being kidnapped or snatched from malls and they never see them again. So they kind of split up in little groups. Don't say, okay, Daddy go to this side of the mall, Mommy go on this side, and uncles go on the other side, and then we'll all meet at the same point. So they split up, went and came back. No one could find Matthew. Then suddenly, the boy's grandfather appeared holding little Matthew by the hand. And when they asked the grandfather, where did you find him? And he answered, the candy shop. He was at the candy counter. And the grandfather said, you should have seen him. His eyes were popping out at the same level as the candy. And he was standing very close to the candy with his hands behind his back. Now, Matthew didn't look lost at all. He didn't even know he was lost. And he certainly didn't know or think he was in any danger. temple. Very good. Found him in the temple. And the mom was really worried and frightened. And he asked Jesus, so why did you stay behind and make us worry too much? And Jesus said to his mom, I am in my Father's house, and that's where I really should be. And the mom was very surprised. Said, what father? She was confused. What father are you talking about? So the parallel we need to draw from this story is that Jesus was never lost. He didn't even think he was lost because he was in his Father's house. And what I'd like to tell you this morning is that sometimes we get lost or we lose Jesus because we are getting busy with our homework, with our games, and with our work. And we don't realize that we've lost Jesus. One morning we can get up and just realize, okay, Jesus is gone out of our lives. So what do? If we find out we've lost Jesus, we need to go and find Jesus where we left him. For he will be right there waiting for us. Let's pray. Dear Jesus, when we have lost your presence in our daily life, help us to remember that you are still there, waiting for us to come back to you. Amen. Thank you.
In the letter to the Colossians, the writer says, let the peace of Christ rule in your hearts, to which indeed we are called in the one body. So let us exchange signs of Christ's peace with one another. The peace of Christ be with you.
ancient words have given believers inspiration over the ages. And so this morning, as we sit on the cusp of the new year, may these words speak to us fresh and new, telling us what God needs us to hear today. Amen. This morning's first lesson is from Colossians chapter 3, 17. It's found on page 201 in your pew Bibles if you'd like to read along. Listen to God's word for us. As God's chosen ones, holy and beloved, clothe yourselves with compassion, kindness, humility, meekness, and patience. Bear with one another, and if anyone has a complaint against another, forgive each other. Just as the Lord has forgiven you, so also you must forgive. Above all, clothe yourselves with love, which binds everything together in perfect harmony. And let the peace of Christ rule your hearts, to which indeed you are called in the one body, and be thankful. Let the word of Christ dwell in you richly. Teach and admonish one another in all wisdom, and with gratitude in your hearts, sing psalms, hymns, and spiritual songs to God. And whatever you do, in word or deed, do everything in the name of the Lord Jesus, giving thanks to God the Father through him.
Good morning. Before I play, I just want to tell you just a little bit about this piece. I've been working on this piece at school. It's one of the pieces I do for my juries. It's written by the world-renowned German composer Wojciech Johann Zimkowicz. It's entitled Summa Nightum.
Now every year his parents went to Jerusalem for the festival of the Passover. And when he was 12 years old, they went up as usual for the festival. And when the festival was ended and they started to return, the boy Jesus stayed behind in Jerusalem, but his parents did not know it. Assuming that he was in the group of travelers, they went a day's journey. Then they started to look for him among their relatives and friends. When they did not find him, they returned to Jerusalem to search for him. After 3 days, they found him in the temple, sitting among the teachers, listening to them and asking them questions. And all who heard him were amazed at his understanding and his answers. When his parents saw him, they were astonished, and his mother said to him, "Child, why have you treated us like this? Look, your father and I have been searching for you in great anxiety." He said to them, "Why were you searching for me? Did you not know that I must be in my Father's house?" But they did not understand what he said to them. Then he went down with them and came to Nazareth and was obedient to them. His mother treasured all these things in her heart. And Jesus increased in wisdom and in years and in divine and human faith. Here is a reading from God's holy word. May God bless it to our hearing, understanding, and belief. Laurel and I traveled to Indianapolis on Christmas Day to spend Christmas with her family. So we were there when the blizzard hit this Wednesday. Normally, I'm better prepared when I travel, especially in the winter. But for some reason, I left home for that trip without a hat. And I knew that I'd have to shovel out my in-laws' driveway. So we stopped at Target's store on the morning after Christmas to pick up a hat, which I promptly lost on our next stop. But when we went to the Target store that morning, the employees were already taking down the Christmas display. So I guess for the retailers, Christmas is over and time to move on to Valentine's Day or whatever is next. And here we are, 5 days past the candlelight service of lessons and carols, and it may already feel like Christmas is over. Certainly, the culture has moved on. After the 26th, now that is as much a part of the cultural frenzy of gift buying and exchanging as the day after Thanksgiving. Most of us are now looking forward to New Year's Eve, the dropping of the ball in Times Square, Dick Clark's New Year's Rockin' Eve, and that's still being broadcast with that name even though Dick Clark passed away this year. But here's the thing. We can't possibly soak in all that the incarnation means in one day. And so, over the centuries, thankfully, for those of us who have yet to get our Christmas cards sent out, the church appointed 12 days of Christmas, in which to revel in the good news shared first with the shepherds and then all over the world. And I know that sounds like a difficult tradition to sustain these days, but perhaps we can at least take this Sunday, the first Sunday after Christmas, to continue our contemplation and celebration of God's act in the newborn babe of Bethlehem. Gathered here today, we are in an in-between time. Not only has Christmas already happened, Epiphany awaits us, but we are also in an interim time between called pastors. And so our reading today from Luke's Gospel seems appropriate enough. Today, 5 days after Christmas, Jesus is no longer an infant, tender and mild, but a boy of 12. My, how they grow up quickly. But if you know any 12-year-olds, you know that is an age that is an in-between time. You are no longer a child, but you're a long way from being an adult. You are in a state of becoming. You are in between. Tweens, they're called today. Growing into